Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's April 26th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and it started out with a really nice trend type day. We had an overshoot, then a break of the trend channel here. We tried to make a new high and couldn't, and then we just kind of went sideways after that. In the big picture, this is probably a large range day. You can see I kind of stepped it up there just in case it did turn out to be a range day. And notice how each of these levels are just equal movements is all they are. Uh, didn't really help you that much today. We really shot through this one, and then we shot straight through that one, and then we didn't even reach one up here. So it wasn't of much help, but it's something you got to watch because a lot of times it is a lot of help, and those will be perfect targets, and they'll turn prices, uh, quickly. But obviously that didn't happen today. But still, you put it on your chart and you're prepared for it just in case. Um, and then once it was obvious we were just going sideways over here. At this point, these two longs, you're still looking for a possible retest of the high. And, we're testing this support resistance and it's holding here, and I'll explain those trades. But then after that, you're kind of in the middle of a range type section, and you're just better off to stay out of that. So I did mark one more short here, and it's real close to being green. So I just don't see anything much after lunch that I think is worth fooling with. All your movement was going on this morning, so really nice trend early on. Um, it really broke away here, and you had a nice move up. But prior to that, there just wasn't much going on. So, but let's back out. We'll talk about the trades, and I'm gonna move through this rather quickly today. I've got somewhere I have to be this evening, so I'm gonna have to move through this quicker than I'd like. But I've had a busy day, so. First trade I saw was right around, just after 7 o'clock. You get a double test of, you already had a double bottom here, and then you tested it once. So really you had a double test here, but that's for 7 o'clock. And then it comes back and you get another double test of that level. You've tested that now 1, 2, that's the third time. So I like going long there, just looking for it to run back to the upper side. And that's all you would have got. You wouldn't have got any runners off of this. But notice that's a double bottom, so that's like a new low. Technically, this is a failed second entry short here. Um, but right into that high with a big bar like that, I'm not going to take that one. But when it tries to go lower again and the EMA holds and you get a much smaller bar, I like the opportunity on that one a lot better. Um, and really, you could have let this break higher and maybe use a lemon order just to get a little better entry before this double top here. Um, but with it trying to go lower twice and failing there, and making that little double bottom and being, only 3 or 4 tick bar, I like just putting a stop there and going long. And then it pulls back. Um, it's tempting to want to go long right here. But you really, unless you're really good with the price action, you're not going to have a trend line yet. What you might have done was draw this right across here, which is how I originally had it. You can kind of see it coming up through there. Turning prices each time, and if you drag that down, then notice what happens. Prices are bouncing right there. So, but you got to be pretty good to find that. And so I'm not even going to mark that. This is a very nice signal bar right off a key entry point, but and you do have two swings here, and this does kind of confirm it too. So you really could have found this off the low as well. You probably would have drawn it off the closes like so. Um, and so that might have tempted you to enter there. And if you did, you would have been right. You would have had to ride out this little pullback. But once that happened, I'm definitely not going to enter there again. Okay, I'm sorry I had an interruption there. But anyway, there's several ways to get that trend line. Um, there's too much overlap here by the time that next trade. It's really a first entry as well. So I think you're better off just to skip it. But notice you got a double, triple bottom right here. So you can count that as a new low. You're working up, you get a first entry short. You pull back, you get a second entry short. And knowing that we just came off the low, the odds are we're probably going to the upper side of the channel, even though we're kind of stuck between the EMA and the midline here, the fact that we can't even get back to the trend line tells you that this thing is pretty strong, and that, you know, now that we've had a second attempt to go lower that failed, we may push on up. So I like going long there. This is actually your signal bar. You might let it break above that one and drop it back one tick above this bar, um, or even further back if you could. You probably wouldn't have gotten uh, a fill anywhere except one tick above this little 3-tick bar here. Another quick, easy move, but you don't get anything more out of it. Well, I take that back. Depending on how you entered, you could have got a runner there, but most likely you probably didn't. But then you get a second entry long here. Notice a new high. You pull back first entry, pull back second entry, and it did push through that time. So if we test it again, we may shoot on through. You don't know that it's going to do this, but that's why we keep entering, because eventually you're going to catch a move, and you would have had runners on this, and I would have exited somewhere right up near this upper line, most likely. Yeah, you could get a few more ticks out of it, but you're not going to get all of every move. So take what the market gives you, exit, and you might have considered riding this back down. Look how far we got an overshoot for one thing. Look how far away from the EMA we are. You know, prices are overdue to come back. I like these kind of trades to try to catch a high, major high of the day, and that would have been the high of the day, even though we came back and got really close again. That would have allowed you to catch this move, and that's really the only place to enter that move. You do get a little higher or low right here that you might have considered, but I would have wanted it to break higher. I don't think I would enter in here. But if you want to be aggressive, I like that trade. And if you catch that, look at the move you get. That's the move of the day. And you can ride that all the way back down. There's a little higher low right there. So technically, you could treat that as a higher low, and or a lower high as well, and enter right there, especially since it is looking like a trend line right through there. But look at this big, huge overshoot. But you don't know that maybe there's not a bigger channel here or something. In the end, I don't think there is, but you don't know that yet. And then with this big overshoot, you actually get a reversal. And notice that you got a new low. You pull back first entry, you pull back second entry. And even though we pushed higher here, that's all still the same move down. And then you get that one little extra try. So really, you got a double test right here of this level. And that's why I like that entry more than anything. Plus, you're probably going to have people trapped here to the short side. You know, most people are thinking short at this point. Big bearish bar, double top. And, you know, they're not thinking retest of the upper high here based off this channel. And there's also the fact that you may not get a retest because we did get an overshoot. And sometimes you don't get a retest on range days with an overshoot. But this doesn't look like a typical range day because your overnight highs are way back here, and look how far we've moved. So this doesn't really look like a typical range day, even though in the end you probably could call it kind of a range day. But anyway, I like that double test, a little double bottom with that one tick lower there that traps people. And somebody is, it's the same guy that scolded me yesterday or the day before for saying my bars were too large. I'm not sure what his angle is, but now he's telling me that traps are, I'm doing the wrong thing by calling these traps, that there's no such things as traps. But, you know, I don't want to, I don't want to stir up a lot of trouble or spend a lot of time. You know, we get people that come in every so often and they don't like what we're doing for whatever reason, but usually they have an angle. I mean, if he doesn't like what we're doing, why is he on the channel to begin with? And if he's really, if he really knows what he's talking about and knows how to trade, why is he worrying about us? Why isn't he off trading or whatever? So I'm not sure what his angle is, and he's welcome on our channel as long as he wants to be there, as long as he doesn't cause trouble. I don't have any problem with people disagreeing with me. But when you come in and try to tell me that there's no such things as traps, when we sit here and point them out every day, it doesn't matter why they happen. All I know is that they're there. We point them out every day and they work. So that's all that matters. Just like the news, I don't care what the news says or why. It doesn't matter how the prices react to the news. It doesn't mean anything. All we know is that what happens after the news is what happens. People, you can get positive news and the market sell off instantly and hard, and you can get negative news and the market rally on it. So we don't know what the news is going to do. So we don't really care about the news. All we care about is what happens from the news. Honestly, I believe they write the news to fit the price action after it happens. But that's irrelevant as well. Why traps occur or what's really causing it is completely irrelevant. All I know is that what we call a trap is there. We point it out over and over. We take advantage of it over and over, and it works. So who cares what causes it or why it's really happening? And to say that that's counterproductive to call it a trap, I'm not sure what this gentleman's angle is, and he's welcome to his opinion, like I said, but I disagree with him. So there's that. But anyway, these are great places to enter. Often you catch a low point, just like up here, you catch a high point. You get those failed break lowers. How many times do I show those? And you end up catching a major low or a major high, and you don't know that this is not going to be a major low. And this could be one thing you want to be thinking about. From right here up, we could get a measured move like this whole first move. And so that's something to be considering here. So that's why we're still kind of looking for longs as long as we got this channel working them. And we've really got a shorter term one inside this larger one, the darker blue one. So, but anyway, you get a nice little trap here, a little failed break lower. I like going long there. You're just hoping to ride it back to this line or this double top and maybe all the way to this high. And maybe we start a second leg up. It's equal to this first leg over here like I discussed a minute ago. Doesn't turn out, but still you can make several points off this one move right here. Comes back, it gives you another test of that. So now you got a double test of this level for sure. A fairly bullish bar. It doesn't close right on its high, but it could have easily. I like jumping in right there. Put your stop there, try to get in, and see if you can ride it all the way to the high. And again, you get another chance for 2 or 3 points. And of course it doesn't make it, it turns down. Now you got a break and a new high of this channel and the shorter term channel, this right in here. And so we may start heading lower. So when you make this lower high, look how it shoots right through the EMA. That's really bearish move. Comes back, gives you a second entry short right here. And I just drew that line off those first 2 swings, drug it over. Perfect fit, and that's where it turns down. So I'm going to take that trade more times than not. That's a second entry, big bearish bar. And again, it broke higher first and then turned. I would have liked it even better if it went straight out the other side, but doesn't matter. Just put a stop there, sell stop. Nice move. Again, good for a couple of 3 points there. And then from here on out, it's just too much sideways. You do get a break of this channel here, but it's too flat. You can't go short right in here with this support resistance. So I said that these lines didn't really help today. They did help because they would have kept you out all these shorts right here when you're thinking short because you got this channel working down. But most of you know you can't go short into that kind of support or resistance area. You want to wait till prices are under it and testing it before you go short. Or you get a breakout pullback kind of short or whatever. So this late in the day, I just stay out of that. I don't see anything there that I want to enter on. So, I mean, if you really want to make sure you draw your lines here. And you can see you don't have much room between those highs and these lows. And these lows are really up here. So you barely got maybe 1.5 points there. So the only way you could trade this was just to sell randomly right here and buy randomly right here. And even then you would have probably got burned right there. So that's the reason we don't buy randomly and sell randomly. We filter it further than that. And that was another thing our distractor was trying to tell me, just why not just buy here, or why not just sell there, because you'll get burned a lot of times. That's why. And yeah, you're always going to have losing trades. No matter, even with our filters, we still have losing trades, but we don't have as many losing trades. We can filter our trades out to get our losers down to, 10 or 20% easy, and even down to 10% using our strategy. And people will tell you every day it can't be done, can't be done. But me and other people that have learned what we do it every day. So don't tell me it can't be done. It can. Maybe you can't do it, but it can be done. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up and finish up for today. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our week for this week. But this is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.